Thank you very much, Minister. His Excellency, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, Honorable Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Kwame McCoy, and we have Mr. Moniz, members of the Guyana Police Force, staff of Lands and Surveys, staff of Prime Minister's Office, Chairman of NDCs, and all the NDCs this afternoon. Brothers and sisters, I want to say a special welcome to each and every one of you. And I want you to put your hands together for His Excellency the Presidency. I'm certain this afternoon that all of us are here while we are here, and we are all excited. But I want to point you to, there is a special organization that deals with land management in this country, and that happens to be Lands and Surveys. Without Lands and Survey, today all of us might not have been here waiting on our leases. So I want to, without any delay, take this opportunity to introduce you to Mr. Moniz, Commissioner of Land and Survey, who will give a brief remark for us. Mr. Moniz, put your hands together, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excellency, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, Honorable Minister Kwame McCoy, staff of Lands and Surveys, other officials from ministries that are here, media, residents here today. Today's exercise is very significant. We have approximately over 400 leases, and this represents leases that were prepared within the last few months. Last year was very significant for the Commission in terms of the amount of work and the emphasis His Excellency placed on state land applications. I think we would have broken all records if I talked to Ms. Chalmers, the manager over there. We had very large amount of applications approved. And I can tell you that the schedules we send out for approval, they come back very quickly. Right? It's a very fast story. Now today, also we'll be looking at three main areas that we did quite a lot of work on to get to where we are today. And this location, which we call Base Road, right, is one of the areas that is actually part of Hyde Park, Tenure. Some of these lands in these areas were formerly the Ministry of Agriculture lands. For those older people who are here will know that the horticultural station, the NARI, had a set of lands up here, right? And persons started to occupy those lands in the 1980s. Our first exercise in this area was 1989. At that time, it was determined that we're not going to regularize, right? finally, around 2010 to 2013, a decision was made that the land would be handed over back. Further occupation surveys were done, but the area was never regularized until 2021, when the government allocated funds to conduct the cadastral surveys, and we were allowed to accept applications. One of the things I'd like to highlight, though, is that there has been a very low number of applications. And it tells us that we still have persons who seem to be contented to continue how they are. In fact, sometimes the only time we see people is if they come in and they will ask us, can I have a letter to go to GPL? Can I have a letter to go to GWI or somewhere? Now, we're not doing those letters anymore. This area is a regularized area, and you have to file your application. Get a lease, you take the lease into the companies, you get your service. Right? So in this area, we have 217 plots, this base road area. We have a few plots, I think it's about 7 of them, that have some issues. Some of them have multiple buildings. As a matter of fact, there's one at one time had 25 buildings. You all know where, right? That were rented out to mostly policemen and soldiers. Well, that has been put aside for now. And we also have a few multiple claims and disputes. We've put those one aside for our legal team to deal with. Right? There were also a couple of lots, about 5 or 6 lots, with persons who were making large claims, so we did subdivisions, created more lots to the vehicles. And then there was a dispute over a certain piece of land, and 2 men were fighting over it for a long time. So all we did, we gave it to the government to put the magistrate court, and that ended the fight. Right? So far, we've received 103 applications. There was about 11 or 12 came in very recently that we are now sorting out. We've completed 92, that's minus 11. We've executed and registered 64 leases. There is 28 leases that persons did not come in to sign as yet. We have them here, we can sign and collect them. Right? So basically for base road, we only have a roughly about 50% response. And I remember when the president was in this area not very long ago, persons were encouraged to come in and apply. But as I said before, it seems as if persons are satisfied with how we are. Right? The second area that we have a significant amount of leases is an area that we had recently surveyed at what we call the Swan Tour. Right? Now, there were persons, these persons here were squatting on private property at Soosdike. One of the owners obtained an eviction order and proceeded to demolish the illegal structures. This exercise was very well widely publicized, with even persons trying to blame the government for that. Right? So we called in the landowner, checked his documents, we confirmed everything was in order, his court order, everything was in place, and he had the legal right to remove the persons. So the evicted persons proceeded to conduct all sorts of picketing exercise, and one time they picketed the South Central Housing and Planning Authority. The CEO called us over, and we agreed to meet with the group. So we took them over from housing to land surveys. Very large group, if you're here, you'll remember. So, and there was also a lot of negative publicities going on over this. So, people were saying we have the people on the road, we have them in the sun, we have them in the rain, and all sorts of things. But the fact is that we have a very small lobby. We have our operations going on, and we could not entertain such a large crowd within the building at that point in time. But what we did is I personally went out here, and I asked the group to appoint a smaller group. I think there was about 5 or 6 persons. And we took them in, and we listened to their complaints. What we then did is that we conducted a verification exercise. We went to every single squatted house on the private property to verify that these persons were there. And we came up with a list of about 152 persons. Right? So we prepared a spreadsheet. I sent it to His Excellency and offered a proposal to assist them by relocating them. And he approved of that. So we started to take in the applications. We did a survey using our own funds. And this resulted in 206 lots being created in the area. So far, 117 allocations were done, persons who came in to be allocated. 104 applications were finalized. We prepared the whole 104 leases. 86 have signed, and we have 18 down here to sign and to collect. Right? The others have not come in as yet. And I think we may make a decision to just stop at some point in time. Right? The other area is an area called Balakari, that's near Long Creek. This is a very old area that persons are squatted. Those who know Mr. Drepal, former councillor on the highway, I used to call that area when people came to me and said, oh, Drepal area, right? That's why I always used to say, Drepal area, right? And he always used to push. So what we did is that we made budgetary allocations in 2022 to government of Guyana, and an occupation survey was done. But what we found is that these persons are on the road reserve and on the road buffer. So it's very difficult. We cannot regularize road reserves and those areas. So what we did is that we created a design. There were some persons at the back too. We created a layout, lots. We had meetings with a group out there, and we finally came to an agreement as to what design we were going to use. And then we went back and we completed the survey. So based on discussions with the people, we had 108 residential lots done. We did 19 commercial lots. And in this area, we made allocation for school. We made allocation for a community center. We set aside 4 acres for a playground. And then we set aside a piece of land for a market. Right? So we were able to do that in that area. So in this area, we actually created more lots than the persons that were there. So we have so far on there 45 applications filed, 39 leases were prepared, and 21 people came in to sign. We have 18 leases more down here for persons that can sign an uplift today. There were about 6 lien applications that are still being processed. Right? The other set of leases will be another 200 leases, which are miscellaneous leases from Yaracabra, Moblisa, Long Creek, Kururu, and other areas. Right? So these have all been completed. Some of you will have received calls from us. Right? And those leases, some have been signed already and executed, and it's just to collect. Others, you will have to come in and sign up. The documents are right in front there, and you'll be given your leases. Right? So I don't want to delay this proceeding because we have over 400 leases. And it's not really a day to talk and to listen to complaints and so on. We set aside time for that. Right? So now that you have received, you'll be receiving your leases, that is what we call security of tenure. It empowers you. It gives you a lot of power. You can do so many things now, and you can develop your life. So good luck and best wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Moniz. So we are on the stage now where you will understand that behind all these activities on the highway, there is a minister that is assigned or have responsibility for the Upper East Bank of the highway. And has been the driving force, has been working day and night to ensure that he make representation on your behalf. So I want you to help me welcome Minister Kwame McCoy. He will bring you here.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, to His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, my colleague and friend, Mr. Muniz from the Guyana Lands and Survey Commission, to all of the community leaders here today, to you, the residents and participants of today's activities. I want to bid you a very special good afternoon and welcome. And we want to thank His Excellency for sparing some of his time to be with us here today at such an important ceremony. It is not easy for him because right across Guyana, continuously every day and night, you see him crisscross this country, trying to solve problems, bringing development to people, finding solutions. And today represents the solution of the Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali government. But continuously, our president and his government work for the advancement of people, for communities and families. And I have seen the absolute commitment by our president to make sure that people's lives become better. That the commitment that is almost compulsory by his own conviction that he has to work and work hard for every single Guyanese and to be able to make our lives better. And so we are all on that journey to prosperity. We all together going in a direction in which we will be able to find benefits and to find ways in which we can be part of the Grand Guyana and the One Guyana and the Guyana in which all of us can, at the end of it all, we have the share of prosperity, and that is what we continue to do as a government. But today's exercise is also very keenly about securing the lives of families. Securing the lives of families. Because by the very act of the issuance of a lease that allows you to occupy a land, many people have been on these lands for many years, double-digit years, and have not been able to have any certainty as to the direction in which it may go. But today brings certainty, because you know that by the issuance of the leases here today, that you are certainly set in a position to be able to occupy the lands without being on the side of illegality or squatting. And so we want to be able to do this. And there is a lot more work for us to do, especially in the Suicide to Mary highway areas. Because as our government, as our country develop along the East Bank, East Coast Corridor, Region 3 and every other region, we want to be able to simultaneously develop and to develop in a way that brings about order. And so our mindset remains very important in terms of us being able to have a shift in our mindset. That we would not allow and encourage the type of activities that could derail the development and that could also put us in jeopardy in terms of how our communities are organized and how people are able to access the ownership of lands, among other things. And so we have to all work together in partnership with the government to be able to have us accelerate the development along the highway and Suicide to Mary, because it is for us to be able to seize the opportunities by virtue of all the economic and social activities around our country, we have to be able to tap into those activities too. And how do we tap in? We take advantage of the opportunities to the extent that we utilize even the gold scholarships, the training programs, so that we equip ourselves in such a way and manner that we can seize those opportunities. Because for the highway development plan, it is about how we present our country to visitors, but also how we share the peace and tranquility of communities along the highway. And so we have been working to identify areas on the highway that the government will establish as housing schemes. So apart from treating with issues on communities where we may have to relocate and, of course, to regularize communities, also part of this plan is to be able to establish housing schemes, and the Lands and Survey Commission is tasked with that responsibility, and we will have at least minimally we're aiming for 3 housing schemes where we'll be able to have people on the highway that may need to be relocated placed in those schemes. But you have to work with us. You have to understand what this is about. No sense we talk about wanting a Guyana in which we can be proud of, in which we will have communities that are wholesome, tidy, cleansing, etc. And we don't adopt and change our attitude and behavior to the things that are not going to lend to a wholesome community. We have to be able to work in ways that understand, first of all, the vision of this government. And we are not short of demonstrating to you and to anyone across this country that we are absolutely serious about moving our people leaps and bounds forward as we develop this country, because we are working for you and working to develop your lives and the lives of your family. We're not short of examples, but it calls for a partnership. And that partnership you can find in us as a government, but you have to be able to do your part as a partner to be able to help us move the development forward and to accelerate it in a way that we can all be proud of. And so there are many things that you will see apart from just housing schemes. You're going to see the establishment of commercial facilities that will enhance the highways assets and be able to create opportunities for more work. Silica City is one such project, but there are many more projects that you will see and initiatives that will also work to your advantage and to our advantage in a whole, because it will be able to create jobs and opportunities for people. So we have to start also thinking ahead. What about even coming together as individuals with the means to establish guest houses and other facilities, because this is an important corridor for visitors from Lethem coming right through, Linden, etc. How do we position ourselves to capitalize on the opportunities and the people that have to pass this way? And therefore, I would like today to congratulate all of you who will be presented with your leases, and to ask that you work with us continuously to move to the other levels and to move into other realms of development. And therefore, once again, congratulations and welcome, and thank you, His Excellency, for sparing some time to distribute, to share your thoughts with us, and also to be able to distribute leases to recipients here this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCoy. I know we're going over time. I think for the longest while, every day we look at our television, we will see our president all over the country putting smiles on the faces of people. And I guess you're all hoping that one day this community will benefit from this. Today is the day he is here, and he will be doing that in this community today. You may recall he would have visited his summit area weeks ago, and he promised to come back today. He's back here, and I want you to welcome. Put your hands together here.
Thank you very much. Members of the Lands and Survey team, Minister McCoy, residents. First of all, allow me to thank all of you for your presence here this afternoon. The issue that we're tackling on the highway and Tenure area is a very technical issue and very complex. Complex and technical because of the number of persons we're talking about and the way in which the settlements are disorganized, not organized. The fact is that we want to bring normalcy, we want to bring rule of law, decency to all these communities. To do so, we have to invest. But to invest in order to give you good infrastructure, take up the value of your lands, give you ownership, increase your net worth and your net value, it requires all of us working together. And it requires an understanding from everyone that we have to give up the disorganized and embrace the organized. And in giving up the disorganized, sometimes I know it can be something that is painful, something that if you're living or squatting in an area for 30, 40 years, you get accustomed to that area. But that is not the way we want your life to evolve. Because we can't give you ownership, you can't take it to the bank, we can't put the infrastructure in, we can't increase your value, and you're not deriving the full potential of that piece of land. That is why we decided that we have to bring a level of organization to the highway, and you are, as well as I know, that the lands that you're going to be allocated today, the very fact that you own your lease now has increased your worth by over 300–400% overnight. Because you can take that into the bank, you can get a loan, you can build your home, and the value of land in this area is growing exponentially. Just for you to have an understanding as to what is happening. In the last 3 years alone, we have received more than 15,000 applications for land on the highway. More than 15, this is unprecedented. And the highway is going to have a number of development initiatives that is coming to you that will further enhance this value. For example, the third phase of the Mandela Road is now at a stage of evaluation. That will bring the 4-lane road up the land of Canaan. And we're already securing financing to take that road from the land of Canaan to the Linden-Soos-Dyke Highway. And then the road is already on the verge of being awarded for the Linden-Soos-Dyke Highway. So you'll have a brand new 4-lane highway connecting that. And this road out here has already been awarded to be widened, upgraded into a modern highway with all the street lights and everything. So imagine the lands that will be opened up. Imagine the value that will be created. So there is nothing like land that is far away anymore. That is why you're seeing people from the city and in the center urban areas are now trying to reach out to these areas. If you look at the pace of growth on the highway, and that is why we want you to become organized as fast as possible. And we have put a sunset on squatting on the highway. So all the new squatting and people now moving into the Emerald Tower area, we have to remove them. We have to take a strong decision. But we don't just want to remove people. We want to give people the opportunity of owning their own land. And that is what is important. We care about people. We want to give you an opportunity to own your own land. So on this Linden-Suzdijk Highway, what is the current situation? As I said, we have over 15,000 applications. In Circuitville, for example, which is another area we want to address, we have estimated that only about 60% of those in that squatter settlement can be regularized. And we are ready to work with regularizing the 60%. But we also want the 40% to understand that in not being captured in the area that can be regularized, we want you to agree that we are going to move you and you're going to work with us so we can go, for example, at Haroni, where we have created 800 new lots at Haroni that can accommodate these persons and all the other squatters. And we're now working on creating a further 800 lots there, so we can have 1,600 lots created there to move 1,600 of the squatters there. Between Tenure and Circuitville, we have 1,400 squatters. If 60% in Circuitville can be accommodated, we will have about 800 that we have to deal with. Outside of that, we have on the entire highway about 2,300 squatters in the last survey. So we have 1,600 lots that we are trying to develop at Haroni. And what we'll get there with those 1,600 lots? School, water, roads, value to the lots that we will give you. Value to the lots that we will give you. So we want to engage Mr. Muniz and his team. We'll be engaging all the squatters along the highway. But when we give you this land, we give you a further empowerment. So most of the persons here, the easiest thing for you to do is to build wooden homes, or you build your concrete homes. So with those who are ready to come to be regularized, you will benefit from the steel and cement subsidy. So we'll add you, so you can get the sling of cement and the steel to start help you building. And those of you who want to build wooden homes, we will help you with 900 BM of wood. So if you're building a 20 by 30, that can help you with your rafter beam and your floor wood. When you calculate 900 BM for a 30 by 60, a 20 by 30 home, 600 square foot home. So you need to take one of the two. But we can only give you that if you come to be in the orderly way of doing things. So we're not only moving people in an orderly manner, we are moving you to give you value, to create better lives for you and your family, to give you access to infrastructure, to give you better availability of water, electricity, housing. And I'm saying to you, we are going to give you those investment in infrastructure once we all agree that we want to do things in the orderly way. So we deal with Circuitville, the Tenure to Circuitville squatter, the 2,300 squatter on the highway. Outside of this 1,600 lots that we want to create at Haroni, we are also going to create, or we're going to try to create at Blue Creek, another 500 lots. So those who are low up, and there's nothing like low and up anymore, because I'll explain to you what is happening. At York, which is before Linden, we are now opening up 1,000 acres of land there for housing that will have young professionals and so living there. We have Silica City that is going to open up the entire highway. So you have a new city in Silica City there. All these areas are in close proximity to Silica City. So you will be living close to one of the futuristic modern cities of the country. And everybody, the kind of interest we're having in Silica City is mind-blowing. But outside of this, outside of the housing pressure for the highway, and I want to say over the last 3 years, we have allocated nationally close to 4,000 leases. About that, Muniz? About 4,000 leases nationally all across the country we have allocated in the last 4 years. and 60% of that was on the highway. Close to 60% is on the highway. Now, I want you to understand the complexity of the highway. The highway is a mix between indigenous land, where indigenous settlement is, private land, leases, and we're also going to take strong measures against those landholders with large plots of land and leases that are doing nothing. But they're sitting on it now and they're profiteering on it. Because many of them are illegally selling the leases. And I've asked Muniz to draft an amendment to the legislation that would disallow persons from selling their leases, whether the lease is on a company name or individual name. So they cannot sell these leases. We're going to amend the legislation, strengthen the regulation, so that these leases cannot be transferred or sold the way they're being transferred or sold here. So we have to address that. Now, what are the other complexities we have on the highway? We have a new city that is coming on the highway, Silica City, that requires special urban planning environment. We have new settlements. We are just speaking about new settlements. We have tourism, major tourism initiative and development that are coming. And we also want to develop farmsteads. So if we have 500 persons from the highway who want to do farming, and farming in a modern way, we want to give you an acre of land, even in one of the mined-out areas, where you will build your farmstead. We will help you to establish shade houses so that you can have good production and put the infrastructure to support you in your shade houses so you can get a livelihood. You can get a decent living out of your farmstead. No sense to have 5 acres of land and you can't maintain half acre. So you're going to have an acre, you live there, we help you with the shade houses. If you're a single mother, you can take care of your shade houses, and we develop a production area. In those shade houses, we can specialize in ginger, we can specialize in turmeric, high value stuff. And have, with these homesteads, these farmsteads, one processing facility that will take all the production. So if we have 500 persons, and the 500 persons are concentrating in hot pepper, we will put a production facility that will take off all the hot pepper from you. You don't have to travel to go to the market to sell it. We'll fix the price, they take off the hot pepper from you, and the last time we calculated this, a person with a 1 acre farmstead can move from zero earning annually to more than $1.2 million annually with that shade house, with some of the crops we are concentrating on. So we want to develop a farmstead approach. Not everybody wanted 10 acre, 5, we don't have it, but we can help you by giving you infrastructure and you will earn more. Because we'll do it scientifically, guarding against climate change, we'll put the infrastructure in to support you, and that is the modern way in which we want to build out the farmsteads. So you have the new city, new settlements, and then also we still have the sand and loam mining. So understand the planning complexity that we're dealing with on the highway. All of these things, there are very few planning areas in the world where our planners and our land administrators have to strike a balance between residential, city, mining, tourism, agriculture, farmstead, and watershed area, including indigenous population. There is no other land planning area globally that brings with it all of these complexities. And that is what we have to deal with. Sometimes people believe it's a very simple exercise. No, you just mark off a piece of it. But this is the complexity that we are faced with from a planning perspective. But we are confronting this complexity. And we're confronting it in a way that is people-centered. where we can move you into value, where we can move you and improve your prospect of earning, improve your prospect of decent living. That is what we want. So here is it, that we are not only moving you and giving you access to land and lease today, we are giving you an opportunity to own your own home by giving you the 900 BM wood or the sand and steel. And we are also going to bring the bank in. I already told Kwame that next week when everybody gets their leases, I want him to come here with the banks and Ministry of Housing, and you will come back, and if you need to apply for a loan, you will apply right here, and they will help you support that loan. So next week, Tuesday, whole day, right to this venue, we'll ask Kwame to get the Ministry of Housing and the bankers to come here. This is what this empowerment gives to you. So as of last night, as of now, if you don't have your lease, you can't get zero value on the land. From next week, Tuesday, you might be able to get up to $8 million, $9 million, $10 million. And that is how you create prosperity. That is how you create wealth. That is how you build family income. That is how you build community wealth. So imagine in a community that we have 500 lots that had no value because it didn't have anything. Today that 500 can get 8 million each from the bank. That is 500 by 8 million. 500 by 8 million. Every 10 lot is 80 million. Every 100 lot is 800 million. So if you have 500, you create $4 billion value. You see how you grow wealth? Community wealth? That is how you grow community wealth. So my friends, today is a very special day for you. And we are very pleased that we could be part of this. And let me tell you what is going to happen. Do not sell your land. Do not sell your land. Even if Mahesh won't buy it, don't sell it. Because your value is going to increase tremendously. Your children would inherit something valuable from you. When we finish with the tourism initiative, Silica City, the new highway, the new Linden Suicide Highway, the new highway to Georgetown, putting up all the lights, improving the infrastructure, expanding the new settlement, putting in the farmstead. Your value in the next 5 years will grow over 2,000%. Don't sell it. Keep that value for your children. Let them inherit that value. I'm pleading with you. Do not sell your land. I'm pleading with you. Do not sell your land. I know the value you're holding. I know the type of pressure that you will come under. People will offer you money. They will try to buy you out tomorrow when you get your lease. Do not sell your land. Hold fast to your land. The value is only going to go up. All right? Thank you very much, and God bless you.
So, Mr. President, we want to thank you very much for your words of inspiration. And we are moving. I want, before we close this afternoon, I want to say a special thanks to Mr. Mahesh and his family for allowing us to be here. And all right, I'm asked here to announce some names. All right, I will hand you over to Mr. Felix, who will take it from Matthew. I call him. Sorry. So we have Mary Elizabeth Rodriguez. Timothy Van Gogh. Just stand by, stand by. Gwendolyn Henry. Senator Chetran. Senator Nature Vishnu Sharma. And Jomati Stevens. Genevieve Captainat. Natasha Williams. Elizabeth Holder. Susan Singh. Nalani Adams. Ashley Tony. Megan Kerman. Ashley Smith. Dance Prasad, Kenneth Prasad, and Parmanan Prasad. Rosanna Mustang. Lauren Garnett. Alexander Diablo.
Okay, okay, we have here also from my office a team, Nalini, Dwayne, Captain Smart. What is our Javon, and Luana. Please, y'all come forward. Where's Dwayne? So these young people here, will be taking any issues that you guys have that you want to raise with us, okay? So they will be sitting over here to deal with you guys. And they are starting a new program that is called, well, we'll launch it soon. Let me not tell you yet. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Of myself and the team from Minister Kwame Office and on behalf of His Excellency Mohammed Irfan Ali, we would like to say a special thank you to all persons who would have traveled from as far as Balakari, Long Creek, Kurukuru, Swan, and other villages on the Luni also. So I thank you all for coming here this evening and don't leave without uplifting your lease. Because once you are present here, it therefore means that you were called. So please have a little patience with us while you uplift your lease. I'd like to say a special thank you to Mr. Mahaves and family for hosting this event. Thank you so much.
All right, it doesn't end here. The process continues. We will continue.
Okay, we don't want everybody coming up here, right? So we have officers with this. What we'll do, we'll call, like, let's say 8 names. You come up, and then we call another 8. So are we going to do it by areas to try to get, because they are packed in that way, right? So one of the officers will come up here, call those names. You come up. If you have to collect, you just collect and sign up and you go, right? Some people may have to sign in.
Those who sign up already.
We just get the benefit.
Just collect all here and then somebody call them.
Right. So we'll have 2 sets. Those that have to sign up and those that are already signed will just come up and
Let me help you.
collect, right?
Let me help you. So they will call the names of those who have completed the process. These are persons who have signed up and everything already from here. And Minister Kwame will hand out the titles and Moniz will hand out the titles from here. So the staff, listen carefully for a name. You will come here and pick that up. So like, let me give an example. Sunita Sira, you can come here. Jonathan Patterson, you can come here. Esther, is the last. Eswibo. Beverly Higgins. All right, those are the names. You guys got to put some energy in this time.
No, this time. We do the first step. We got the meter. Oh, the paper, just stick off on the paper. Next, yes, we do. Yeah, let it go sign over here. You want to sit down there, let it sign? Esther? Come over here. Yes, come Esther. Sweebo? Kenny Hendecker. Kenny Hendecker. Kathleen Tony. Kathleen Tony. Darlene Adams. Darlene Adams. Nigel Bennett. Priscilla Holder. Nigel Bennett. Priscilla Holder. Daniel Primo. Daniel Primo. Devon Fordyce. Devon Fordyce. Marlon Prophet. Marlon Prophet. Melinda Pilgrim. Melinda Pilgrim. Joanne Patterson. Joanne Patterson. Clem Harry and Janice Fredericks. Clem Harry and Janice Fredericks. Daniel Rodway Primo. Daniel Rodway Primo. Julian Samuels. Julian Samuels. Patricia Henry. Patricia Henry. Emily Mary Simon. Emily Mary Simon. Hubert Rogers. Hubert Rogers. Yulis Morales. Yulis Morales. Alvin Ya. Alvin Ya. Cardella Haley. Cardella Haley. Rosella Cooper. Rosella Cooper. Melinda Biram Singh. Melinda Biram Singh. Mary Rodriguez. Mary Rodriguez. Patricia Dundas. Patricia Dundas. Chevon Osborne. Chevon Osborne. Gwyneth Melville. Gwyneth Melville. Mark Anthony Sam. Mark Anthony Sam. Regina Chacon. Regina Chacon. Shalon Smith. Shalon Smith. Ian Waterton. Ian Waterton. Jacqueline Williams. Jacqueline Williams. Onika Pollard. Onika Pollard. Delon Leroy Holder. Delon Leroy Holder. Gita Elam, Gita Elam, Marini Hopkinson, Marini's Hopkinson, Tony Prasad, Tony Prasad, Selena Hope, Selena Hope, Oren Felix, Oren Felix, Henry Ashby, Henry Ashby, Fayon Khan, Fayon Khan, Evangelist D'Olivero, Evangelist D'Olivero, Joel Nelson Bender, Joel Nelson Bender, Adriana Torres Ramit, Adriana Torres Ramit, Desmond Frank, Desmond Frank, Selena Park, Selena Park, Janet Cristiano and Abdul Yusuf, Janet Cristiano and Abdul Yusuf, Stephanie Barker, Stephanie Barker, Desiree Ramit, Desiree Ramit, Vincent Ford and Melanie Kelman Ford, Vincent Ford and Melanie Kelman Ford, Elvan Joseph, Elvan Joseph, Rivaldo Retmeyer,